locally. So what is group by and fuzzy grouping? Fuzzy grouping is specific to Power BI cloud service. Okay. You cannot do fuzzy grouping as part of Power BI desktop. Instead, you can do the group by in Power BI desktop, but you can do these both in Power BI cloud service. Okay. But fuzzy grouping, you can do it only on the Power BI cloud service. I'll explain what is fuzzy grouping. What is group by in SQL? If you want to present the data in summary data, okay, you want to group the rows that have these similar values to get the summary data. That kind of situation, we use group by, we perform the group by operation. This is very common in almost all the RDBMS system, okay, RDBMS or, RDBMS system, okay. There are two types of grouping operations. One is, okay, you can aggregate a by using an aggregate function. Like, what are the aggregation function? The interview, they'll ask you, what are the aggregated functions are available? Can you please type it in the chat window quickly so that I can understand quickly how fast I can place you, okay? So opportunities are keep coming up. Suddenly it comes and suddenly it goes up. What are these aggregate functions are available? Sum function, average function. They will ask you guys all the interview. Can you please explain the aggregate function that you use? Sum, average, minimum, maximum, count function, and distinct count. Okay, so these are the um, aggregation functions or summary functions. Okay, summary function or aggregate function. Both the terms are representing the same. Sometimes these summary functions or aggregate function. Don't get confused. That's why I explained to you very clearly what are the alternate words. They say summary functions. Is not they are asking about this only. Aggregate function means the same thing. Okay. So these are the aggregate function. Apart from that, in Power BI, you can perform a row operation. This is specific to Power BI. Very good. Okay. So likewise, right, whether you know or not, please type it in the chat window so that I can make sure that you are interview ready. Okay. As soon as the training program is over, I can plan for positioning you. Okay. We cannot blindly position you just because somebody says some options are available. End of the day, you will be in trouble, everyone will be in trouble. Okay, so what is data aggregation? So, for example, your manager wants to create a report like this. So, he has given you the input data. The output should be like this. Okay, so how can you achieve this? For that, you need to use a group by, you need to perform a group by operation. So, for example, in the country column, when you apply a group by, what will happen is it will group all the rows in this country column that have the similar values will get grouped. Look here, Australia. Okay, Australia, three records got grouped together. And then similarly, the Germany group got groups, together. New Zealand, it's something like all the males stand together, all the females stand together, all the kids stand together, all the senior citizens stand together, something like that. Okay, it groups the similar values in the specific column. Okay, in the group by column. Okay, so country here Australia got grouped together, all the Australia related records, and Germany we have two records. Okay, and then it applies the aggregation function. In this case, for the sake of illustration, I use the sum function. So what will happen is it groups all the records similar values that have similar values in the country column. In this case, Australia, it applies the sum. Okay, for example, quantity 15, 17. It add all the values. Instead of displaying the records in transaction level, groups them and put in a single value. And 15 plus 2 is 17. And then it adds all these values, puts it here. Similarly, the Germany also it does the same thing. Okay, and then United States also it does the same thing, and New Zealand also does it. So yeah, sorry guys, I'm repeating this. Those of you already familiar, please, you can go for your dinner and come back after 10 minutes. Okay. And okay, so if I use a group by on this country column, so it goes and checks rows that have the similar values in the country column. What are the values were similar? United States, United States, United States, Australia, 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 right? Fine. If I ask you a report wherein you need to apply a group by based on the combination of two columns or more than two columns. Okay, you can perform a group by based on a single column, two column, or the combination of multiple columns also. Okay. And let's see if I ask you to do the group by based on the combination of country and region column. What will happen is it will go and check the rows that are having the similar values, with the combination of country and region. So here, if you see United States South with the combination of these two columns, because you are doing a group by on these two columns. Okay, so what will happen is these two records have the similar values in both the columns. United States South, United South. So what will happen is it groups these two values and then it performs the aggregation and then it gives you this answer. Okay, 5 plus 5 is 10 and then this one, it will get added. And since you don't have the values that are similar to United States in East, so this value will get, gets displayed, or, only this value gets displayed. And Australia. So in this case, Australia and Oceania. If you see, yeah, Australia and Oceania, you have two records here. And again, you have another record is available. The combination of Australia and Oceania, three records there. So 10 plus 5 plus 2, 17. Australia, sorry, it must be 17. Okay, I wrongly put it here. It must be 17. Okay. So this one must be 17. Okay. So it groups all the values with the combination of Australia and Oceania. So 10 plus 5 plus 2 is 17. Okay. Similarly, it will add these values and including this value, it will give you some, that value. Okay. So now you understood, you can perform group by on a single column and multiple column also. Okay. So this one I will show you once again in Power BI Desktop. Please watch carefully, pay close attention. See, I have the data set already loaded here. AGG cell. It's a simple Excel file or the CSV file. If you want to see the type of the file, where will you go and see whether it's a CSV file or Excel file? How do you see that? You can select the ribbon, home ribbon, and you can see the transform data here. Data source settings. You can click on it. It's a CSV file. You can see the type of the file here, okay? Whether it's a database or CSV file or JSON file or XML, everything, the type of file you can see it here. Okay, the file, already I have loaded the CSV file in the interest of time, right? And then if I click on it, you can see the data that are available here. Let's wait for a few seconds. The same example, okay? I just show you the same example. Okay, but there will be a slight difference in the values column. Instead of country name, country ID is there. That's all. Okay, region instead of east, northwest, right? Only the short form is there. E for east and so on. Okay, but if you see the data here, everything seems to be good. And US, you have how many records? Three records are there. And Australia, you have two records are there. But this has been this data we have already cleaned it. Look here, I just go to the Power Query editor now. We are going to do the aggregation. We are performing the group by operation. That you can do it only on the Power Query editor, okay? And if you see here, 1 second, I will just click on the transform ribbon. Okay, here if you see, look here, I already did some data pre-processing, which means look here, initially the data, look like this. Okay, not this one. Yeah, before this. Look here. You remember in the last session I explained you, as soon as I loaded the data file, the AGG sales, I could see the values like this, US, and US. Two, SS were there, okay? So ideally this belongs to the US data set, but when you perform group by in SQL or even in Power BI or any other language, What will happen is if you perform a group by on the country column, it will group only the values that are similar, rows that have the similar values. For example, US will get grouped together, and then it will consider this a separate group. Because of the wrong naming convention, this one will not become part of the US group. You understood? And then it will show separately, and US or the remaining US records will get grouped together. This one will not be part of that group because the naming standard used to define the US is different here. This is called data inconsistency. It's not data incompleteness. Data is available, but the inconsistency is there. If you use US, everywhere use US in the country ID column, or the country name or something like that. Okay, but if you use different names, this happens when you have multiple branches. Okay, let's say you are operating across USA, and you have divided your business logically into different regions: north region, south region, southeast, southwest, like this. Some people they put yes west, so instead of southwest. So, but your standard is the organization, as per your organization standard, coding standard, right? They are supposed to use southwest, but in some location they put southwest. So what will happen is whatever the transaction happen in southwest will group together, and in case of any transaction where you flagged or specified the country code or the region name as southwest, this is a region name and this is also a region name, but both of them are same. Just because you have used different name, what will happen is, listen, in this under transaction, for under transaction you mentioned southwest in the region column, whereas for the other 50 records or transactions, you use this naming. So what will happen? These two will not get grouped automatically. How will this computer know these two are same? That is not possible. So hence you need to do some kind of data pre-processing. What I did, I replaced the USS by US and then GR by G or something like that. Okay. After I replace all the values, now yeah, GR by GE. Okay. So now all the values seems to be all the values look similar, right? There is no inconsistency. Now it looks consistent. If I do the group by now, it will make sense. So what I did, so in this case, I'm going to do the group by again. I just click on the group by. So it says insert. I just do it intentionally because already it is there. But since you requested me to repeat this topic, I just do this one. Here you have two different basic and advanced. Country ID is the column. Group by. New column is total sales. And operation, I'm going to click on this. You have different aggregation functions are available. And count rows, yeah, count rows and count distinct rows. And all rows is also available. This is specific to Power BI desktop, okay? And I'm going to select sum here and then sum on the sales column. And also I'm going to select the advanced thing here. And I just want to, one second, I just delete this. And I'm going to add one more aggregation, total quantity. And here also I'm going to say sum. If you want average, you can use average, okay? So not sales, the quantity, okay? Total quantity. This is just the column name. This is the function we are using it on these two specific columns. You are doing group by on the country. I'm going to hit OK now. So now the data got aggregated. Previously, you can see the transactional data like this. So guys, if you have, see here, I have used only 11 records for, for the illustration purpose. But in the real world, you have millions of records will be there. After you do the group by, it will get reduced only, like this. If you have only 4 regions like this or 4 countries, right? It will get reduced like this after you do the aggregation. Let's say you have 10 million records. You are doing a group by on the country column. You are selling the products only in 4 countries. All the countries transaction value will get aggregated. In the sales and quantity in this case, it got aggregated. The million records got boiled down to only 4 records. You got it? So maybe, right, this can be another example for your aggregated sales aggregated fact table. Okay, yearly sales aggregate factor or something like that. Okay, fine. So now you want to do a group by based on two columns. So just now we did only based on the country ID column. I need to include region also. Hence, I don't have to create group by again. So what I do is in this tab, if I see on the extreme right, I can see the wheel icon. I just click on it here, and I am going to add one more group. Here I just include the region column. So whatever the records that are similar for the combination of these two columns, that will get grouped now. So now you can see the region in US East region, total sales, this is what happened. US South region, total sales happened like this. Okay. So apart from this, we have another option. I'm going to click on the wheel icon here. And here I'm going to add one more aggregation, which is nothing but your all rows. Okay. This is, I just say granular detail. Okay, all rows. But here there is no function. Okay. It gives you the transaction level detail for each aggregated record. I just hit OK now. We can see that a new column by the name of granular detail got added. But in this column, as opposed to other columns, displays something called table here. So what I do is I keep the cursor next to the table. I just click on it here so that I will get to know in the US East region, right? So, how we got this value? We have two transactions happen. In one transaction, we sold 2 units. Another transaction, we sold 5. So itemized level, you can see, the values corresponding to each summarized record. So how if somebody is asking you, hey, how did you get this value 7? What made up for 7? Because we had in the past two transactions happen. One customer purchased 2 quantity and another customer purchased 5 quantity. Since these customers purchased in the combination of these two, right? US East region, and we did the group by on these two columns. Now since these two columns will get boiled down to a single record, US East region, 5 plus 2 7, and 2,500 10,000, and almost 11,264. Okay, and instead of clicking here and seeing each and everything, you can also expand this table. For that, you need to click on it here. If you click on it here, you can see everything. I'm going to unselect this one. Now, all I need is, okay, I just select the, okay, I just, simply click on OK so that you will get to know everything quickly here. So you can see that what is this record up to this, we already did, right? So US East, initially we saw only one record. Now we could see 2 records because if you see the item level transaction detail data, right? In US West East region, 2 transactions happen. The transaction level data also displayed along with the summarized data. Since the transaction level have 2 records, this one also repeatedly displaying the same value in 2 records in order to sync up with these values. Okay. So 5 plus 2 is 7. So that is what you can see it here, right? The 7 is nothing but these two values. Okay. And then the next one is the totals is 11264. How did it arrive this way? By adding these two values. Because in US East region, there are 2 records are there. These are transaction level records, but this is summarized record to keep in sync with the transaction record. The summarized value also displayed 2 times. If you have 3 records here, 3 records, you can see this summarized value repeats the same value because it's a summarized value. Okay. And here it is a transaction level data. Okay. Each transaction. So the transaction level data also you can see it for each aggregated record. That is also possible using all rows. So I'm going to delete this one because I don't want you to get confused. Okay, we are done. Now you understood how to do the group by everything is fine. So we have something else called fuzzy grouping. In the case of fuzzy grouping, like I have shown here, this is your original data, right? And here, instead of G, here we have something like GR is there. Instead of USS is there. Okay. this is that given data is inconsistent. Since the number of records are less, we are able to make out just by eyeballing it. There is some inconsistencies there. We have replaced the value. If you have millions of records, 100,000 records are there. So you need to click on this one to understand how many unique values are there, right? Even here, if you see many values, scroll down, 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 it is a painful thing. Forget about pain, okay? You might tend to miss certain values to replace it, okay? For example, GR needs to be replaced GE. Due to many records, somehow you forgot to look at this. Somehow you missed seeing this record due to oversight. What will happen is still after you do the group by, this one will show it separately, this one will show it separately. Okay, so to overcome this issue, we have something called fuzzy grouping. Fuzzy grouping, what it does is you don't have to explicitly replace these values. For example, the GR, you need to explicitly replace it by ZE if you have to do it manually. But with fuzzy grouping, to overcome the say oversight, right? The oversight related issues, something called the fuzzy grouping option is there. Once you enable that, even if there is a slight difference, it will consider them as the same record. So G and GR still will get grouped together. Okay. So it uses some distance metric. Okay. So with that distance metric, it can address the issue. Okay. So what is that distance metric? There is something called Jaccard similarity algorithm. This is machine learning or artificial intelligence algorithm. It uses Jaccard algorithm. Jaccard algorithm. Which one? The fuzzy grouping. I'm talking about fuzzy grouping. The fuzzy grouping. So it uses something called Jaccard algorithm. Okay, Jaccard algorithm. So what it does is it measures the similarity between the pairs of instances. Okay, pairs. It measures the similarity. For example, it measures the pairs of the uh, the instances. Okay, similarity between the pairs of these two instances. It checks, are they same, somewhat similar. Okay, so what it does is, okay, it computes some distance and it uses some formula and then it computes the distance. Oh, okay, good. So now you understood. The pairwise, it has to find out the similarity. For that, it uses this algorithm. This algorithm uses some kind of distance method. Okay, it has to count the distance between the values. Hence, it is a CPU intensive job. Though it is a slow, right? But end of the day, where when you use the fuzzy grouping, it automatically fix these kind of inconsistencies. So it will group these two. Hey, these two are almost similar. Hey, man, group these two things together. Supposing you have USS, all these things are same, group this together. Okay. So group these together. So even though you have some, additional letter or any lower case in uppercase related issues, the fuzzy grouping algorithm takes care automatically. That one I will show you quickly in Power BI Cloud Service that I did not show in the previous session because I ended with group by. 1 second. I just leave this as it is because it'll be slow if I wait there. I just go to the Power BI Cloud Service. Look here, I'm in the Power BI. So you remember I explained in the previous session how to go to the Power BI Cloud Service, app.powerbi.com. Sorry, app.powerbi.com. And if you type it, it will take you to your Power BI Cloud Service. Here you need to go and create a username and password, login credentials. Once you're done with that, you'll be able to log in here. In my case, I already did it. And here what I do is I just go ahead and select some workspace. Workspace is something like a folder. Okay. In Windows, we have folders, right? We create folders. Similarly, in Power BI Cloud Service, you can create workspaces, which is nothing but a kind of a folder. Okay. I just click on it And then I'm going to use, okay, I just click on here. No, not here. And then workspace. Yeah, I think, one second, I just, so yeah, this one was hiding, okay. Since my Zoom was blocking. Look here, here you can see something called new workspace. So I just clicked on the workspace. It opened up something like this, but in your case, you cannot see all these things, okay. Since I already created, I can see this one. In your case, you need to click on the new workspace to create kind of separate folder. Here I just say demo. I got okay. Okay, here I just say demo workspace. And here you can give some meaningful name, everything. Okay, I just click on apply. In this workspace, I'm going to do something. Okay, I just see this is a new folder. It's kind of a new folder. You can see the workspace name here. Okay, how did I create the workspace? One second here. It is so for this reason it was hanging. Okay. So I'm on the Power BI Cloud Service. I created a workspace. That workspace name was Demo Workspace. You can see it on top here. And this, since it's a new workspace, I don't have any files here currently. Okay. So what I will do is I'll just click on New here. Watch carefully. At the bottom, you will find something called one second. Streaming data mod, data flow. Oh yeah, data flow. I'll just click on the data flow. And then here you have multiple options. Okay. And what I'm going to click on the add new tables first one. Forget about the other one. So here I'm going to click on the first option. I'm going to import the table directly or the file directly here. Instead of loading in Power BI desktop, you can load the file directly on your Power BI service also, cloud service. Okay. So I'm going to click on the text.csv file. That is the one I used it, right? Here, a link to the file. I need to create a file. See, currently I'm on cloud. So I want my cloud to read the file from my local laptop. So for that, I need to create some connection settings. So I just say some name here, okay? Yeah, AGG sales, the file name itself, I'm going to give that as, sorry, file path. Sorry, here I need to specify the file path, that one, AGG sales. So I need to tell Power BI, hey, in my laptop, in this folder, this file is available. Okay. And it gives some connection name automatically. If you want to edit, you can edit it. So in my case, I just leave it as it is, create new connection. Okay, here create new connection, and I just say the connection name is connection, and data gateway on premises folder connection string, something like that. Okay. Connection name, let it be there. Okay. And I create new connection. Okay, but still it is not doing. Okay, here I just take gateway none. You need to select the gateway connection name. Okay, or else I will use the existing one. This one I will show you later. Okay, so because for that you need to do some other configuration. Hence, I'm going to reuse the existing connection, and I just click on next. You need to do this step because the file agcsales.csv is available in my laptop. I need to tell Power BI Cloud Service, hey, in this folder in my laptop, you need to read the data and load it into your Power BI Cloud Service. From laptop to cloud, it has to load the data. For that, we have to tell which file, in which folder you need to go and find it. And you need to define the connection. This one I will show you later because it involves additional step. We have a separate session for this, the Power BI. That time I'll explain because if I explain it so many steps, you'll get confused. Look here, now the data got loaded from my laptop onto the Power BI Cloud Service. Country ID, region, quantity, sales, everything, right? Cool. So now here also we have the transform option is available. Okay. So what I am going to do is I'm going to click on the transform data. Now you can see the Power Query editor on the cloud. Remember, in the Power BI desktop, in the local desktop also we have the transform data is available. When I click on this, it will open the Power Query editor. Similarly, Power Query editor on cloud is also available. Okay. And the same interface you can see it. Whatever you have seen it in the Power Query editor in my Power BI desktop, the same thing you are seeing it here, right? So the get data, when I click on the transform, you can see the group by. Okay. I can do the group by here also. Okay. So what here also the same issues are USS, right? Since I loaded this file, from the beginning, right? So we can see the inconsistencies are there. US, but USS is there. And you have GRG is there, some inconsistency there. So GR supposed to be GE and the US is supposed to be US. So what I will do is I click on the group by. So, okay, here I just see country ID. I'm going to select advanced and add grouping. In here, I just same thing I'm going to do. Okay, nothing much. Add grouping here, total sales. And here the sum function, I'm going to use it. And here the column is sales, and I'm going to add another aggregated column called total quantity. I'm going to use sum here, sum of quantity, and I just say quality column. Same thing, okay? Look here, guys, you will find additional option called use fuzzy grouping. Okay, this you can see it only in Power BI Cloud Service. This option is not available in your Power BI desktop. When you do the grouping, you will not find this one. Okay, even with the latest version, we did not see that. So what I do is I just I just select this option, and then I just selected this one. I just hit OK now. And if you scroll down here, you will see the fuzzy group options. But you need to select this option. And if you scroll down, you will find similarity threshold, ignore case, group by combining text parts, like USS, US, almost similar, you combine it. In case of lowercase, suppose the capital U is there, small s is there, somewhere else they mentioned capital U, capital S. Ignore the case, okay, and group by combining text parts. And you need to note down importantly the similarity threshold. The default similarity threshold is 0.8. So how many of you guys noticed this one? For example, in your Word document or PowerPoint, when you search something, right? You will find something like, in the find option. I have seen some tool. It'll have some option like, you want to do search, you want to search based on the exact match, or if even if it is something similar, is that okay? Okay. So that is what in the similarity threshold we can define it here. Okay. See, something like in our case, I'll just explain it in the layman term. We have US and US and USS is there. When you do find, you have an option like, exact match. Let's say in the find, you type US. When you use the exact match, what will happen? It will go and look at only these two values. Okay, so, similar, right? Similar values. In that case, so this value is also somewhat similar. So how many of you are aware of like operator in SQL query? Right? So like what it does is somewhat similar to the values it will take everything, irrespective of the exact match, right? So even, the anything that starts with the US, right? You fetch everything, okay? So somewhat like, this option, that you can define it with similarity threshold. If you specify higher the threshold value, it will go by the exact search. It will reduce the threshold value. What will happen is you are giving some liberty. Hey, even if the values are somewhat similar, you group them together. That is the idea of the similarity threshold. Look here, I'm going to use the default threshold value 0.8. It is not going to work. I just click on OK now. Let's see what happens. See, everything else is same, guys. The grouping, everything, whatever I did it so far, right? Same thing can do it here also. But here you can see one US value, but here another US is there here, and US East and US South, and this US North is not there. Okay, I just go back here and let us check this data set. Sorry, I mistakenly clicked it. You clicked it mistakenly once. It takes a lot of time. Okay, here if you see, we can compare it here. See, you don't have to compare here and there. Okay, so we are doing it here only. US yes is there. US South and two record. Yeah, US East we have two records, right? US North is there. Okay, ideally it should have been East. Okay, US East. See, US East got grouped together, and US South got grouped together, and US North. Okay, actually this is not the correct example. What I will do is I will just remove the the region so that okay, I just remove this one. Okay, delete it. Okay, fine. Because we have only one record is available in the inconsistent record. So I just removed it. Look here and here US. Okay, US GER and see the GE records got grouped together, right? If you go here and if you apply, filter here only GE column, just for checking purpose, I'm doing it. It is not necessary you have to come and check here also, okay? This is different, that is different. So GE, we have in Germany, we have two records. And okay. What I will do is I just transformed the data, right? I need to go to the Power Query editor here in my laptop. Before transforming the data, how it looked like. That is what we want to see. Look at promote. This is how the data were the USS and US. And here, if you see here, here all the US put together, total quantity 18. So US alone, forget about region. Okay, US alone, how many units were there? So here you have 2 and 6 plus 8, 8 plus 5, 13 plus 5, sorry, 10, 11, 11, yeah, sorry, 10, 16, 18, right? And here we are getting 18. Because of that fuzzy grouping. Did I do anything here like right click on it, replace values, replace USS by US? Did I do that? No, right? Where here I did not do that. But whereas here I did that. Look here, I replace the value USS by US. And now, you can see all the US records got consistently named as US. But here I did not do anything. I did not right click and, I did not do anything, right? So replace values, I did not use it here. Since I've used the fuzzy grouping, it does the job automatically. We don't have to do anything. Group by aggregator is partly similar to VLOOKUP function. Oh, really, Chaitanya? Very good. Okay. Okay. VLOOKUP function. Okay, all right. Very good. So in Excel, right? Yeah, those of you are familiar with VLOOKUP. So the same thing you can do it. That's what Chaitanya says. But I did not use VLOOKUP in Excel. Okay. But the idea is this one. When you use a fuzzy grouping, it takes care of that one. Even in case of inconsistent data, it takes care. But only thing is, the threshold value. Look here, the threshold value. You need to, you need to reduce it. But in, the previous version, it was, for example, if I increase it, what will happen? If I go and hit OK, let us check what happens. If I increase the threshold, what happens here? Exact match. Hey, I'm doing a group by on country ID column. Only all the values in this country ID, right, or similar, then you group it together. We have 4 US records were there. Only 3 US records were similar, right, as far as this call value is concerned. So it shows it. So for that, make sure that even after using fuzzy grouping, if it is not grouping it correctly, once again go here, click on the wheel icon here, and then you just scroll down and fuzzy grouping, you can select that one. And, you can reduce the threshold. Probably you can reduce to 0.78. It will be really good, but don't reduce to too less. Okay. Good. Now it is doing good job. So now it has some seventh sense, right? It can understand. Hey, the USS also same as US. Hence you group, USS also along with US, and this one also same, right? So these four records will get grouped together automatically. That is what is happening here. We can see 10 plus 6, 16 plus 2, 18. So that is what we can see it here. So here also we can see 18 here, right? And totals is the same thing, okay? Now we understood the fuzzy grouping. In the intro, they will ask you intentionally, okay, what is fuzzy grouping? You can tell them using fuzzy grouping. By setting the similarity threshold, we can make, we can group the values like operator or similar to like operator in SQL query. You can tell them this way. It's not exact match, somewhat similar match. It is going to do it. Okay. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? I repeated it again. Last session also I repeated. Hope you should be able to understand. Hope you understood what is group by and what is fuzzy grouping. Fuzzy grouping is specific to Power BI. And this fuzzy grouping and fuzzy logics are available in other programming languages. But not all the data visualizations tools like Power BI it is available. To my knowledge, only fuzzy grouping is available in group by in Power BI cloud service only. Okay.